Hello everyone, Todd here, and I hope you're having a great week. Today I'm going to take a look at a set of headphones I've had a lot of requests to review. They're a closed back model from Status Audio, the CB-1. Now the CB-1 have been around for a long time and they have a pretty solid following. Status Audio tells us these headphones are for studio use where accurate listening is important, and also they have some advanced driver technology which is supposed to help really improve low-end performance, remove distortion, and enhance sub-bass, if anything else. So we'll listen to that as we go through the review. Now, all headphone audio in this review will be recorded using my binaural microphone to give you the most accurate representation I can of what these headphones sound like, or at least the difference between these headphones and just a direct recording. So I encourage you to wear headphones or use studio monitors for the best experience. Now, when I look at the logarithmic comparison here of the sine sweep, we can see that these headphones are actually fairly accurate below 1K. There is definitely a little bit of a boost in the sub-bass frequencies, and that's something that Status Audio talks about, having really strong sub-bass performance. But above 1K, up into, around 8, 9K, there's definitely a lot of deviation going on here. There's some overboosting in a few of those frequencies. And above 10K, there's a significant roll-off. And, this is something, again, in the linear analysis, we can see a really significant drop off as we just get more resolution in the higher frequencies. Now listen for that when it comes to the music comparison. Now, I spent a lot of time listening to reference tracks in these headphones, and I have to say there's a strong push in the frequencies between 1 and 5K. It's uneven, as we can see in the logarithmic analysis here, and it's not as apparent perhaps as it might be simply because we got a very strong performance below 1K, and particularly in the sub-bass frequency, so it tends to balance that out a little bit. Still, the emphasis is there. It's really pushing in the 1 to 5K range. Now, above 10K, there's a significant drop-off. We can see it here on the graph, and I hear that as well. I'm missing the air frequencies on these headphones. Moving to the linear analysis, again, we just get a little more resolution in the upper frequencies, and I absolutely see the same thing here that I'm hearing. Now let's take a look at the direct comparison. Now looking at the direct logarithmic comparison, we can see these headphones actually do a very strong job of representing frequencies below 1K, even a slight overemphasis in the sub-bass frequencies, which you don't find often in headphones. Problem is that in the upper frequencies above 10K, there's a very significant underrepresentation, and so it throws these headphones out of balance. They sound overemphasized and bass heavy, but yet with that still strong push in the sort of 1 to even 7K range. So we've got kind of an over push in those frequencies, accurate representation in the bass, underrepresentation in the over 10K frequencies. It really makes these headphones sound out of balance, and really confines the image even to my ears, but I'll talk about that later on. Now, I've loaded up the original direct recording as a reference track here in iZotope's audio lens, and I'll play back the recording from the CB-1. So the purple range is the reference region. The white dynamic line is going to be the live playback from the CB-1 headphones. Look for an overemphasis in those upper mid frequencies with a significant underemphasis in the upper frequencies, solid bass and sub bass.
What about the world we both both believed in. What about the word that made it so? What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so?
You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah. You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah.
Now, the vocal comparisons with these headphones was very interesting. First, on male vocals, what I found is that over push in the 1 to 7K range, but again in an irregular way, kind of left some areas almost seeming missing in the vocal to me. It sounded like something that had been heavily EQ'd, and that's not what I'm looking for out of headphones. The lower frequencies were certainly there, adding some body and depth to the male vocal, and the upper frequencies have less impact, so above 10K, less impact on a male vocal. But on the female vocal, we also have those missing upper air frequencies, and that really does impact sort of the overall character and the tone of the female vocal. But again, the airiness is gone, and we have, again, that irregular push in the 1 to 7K range, which also, again, causes the female vocal to sound a little out of sorts to my ears. Not a technical term, but I mean, hopefully when you're hearing it, maybe you can pick something up. Let me know what you hear in the comments below. And of course, the lower frequencies have less impact on the female vocal.
And this is a sample of spoken word, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones. And this is a sample of spoken word, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones.
Now, for spoken word, I really didn't get the speech intelligibility that I would expect given the boosts in those upper mid frequencies. And really, it's again because of the emphasis on the low frequencies with these headphones. It's all about balance with audio, and the kind of emphasis in the lower range is taking away from the intelligibility, in my opinion. And of course, the air frequencies aren't really there. Not as much of a deal here as far as spoken word is concerned, but if anything, perhaps if someone was very sibilant that you were listening to through the headphones, it may tend to take a little bit of that away. So it depends a lot on, on what voice you're listening to. But overall, these headphones, I found them very average for spoken word. Now, the CB-1 are actually quite popular for gaming. They have, again, a really solid bass response and sub bass, as we've heard, which could be advantageous for some titles. So let's check out some game audio. I tested these headphones with a number of games, and the sample that I've included here in the review is very representative of what I found. And that is, there is in fact very solid bass response. So when you have explosions and things, they definitely have impact. The difficulty is with those upper frequencies missing above 10K, the airy sense of the environment, the immersiveness really was not there for me. I didn't find it to be as good as many other headphones I've tried. Now, the push in those upper frequencies of 1 to 7K, that it had some advantages in certain titles. But again, the environment almost felt very artificial with these headphones. So while they're quite popular, for me, they're not my choice for gaming. I'll talk a little bit about Soundstage and Imaging with these headphones, and I've already touched on the idea that imaging performance is less than what I would like to see. I find the sound actually kind of collapsed with these headphones. Everything is between the ear cups in your head, really no sense of any spatial environment, whether it was for music or game audio. So if your listening preferences and or your application such as mixing requires those, these headphones are probably not the best choice. Now, taking a look at the build quality of these headphones, they are all plastic construction here. It doesn't feel like a flimsy plastic, although I worry a little bit about the hinges on here. Now, there's adjustment on the sides. It's fairly positive, so everything kind of locks in place, which is nice to see. There's quite a bit of padding on the underside of the headband here as well. It is a perforated pleather, which is supposed to help with keeping you cool. I didn't find these headphones particularly cool to wear for a long period of time. There is quite a bit of padding on the side on the ear cups. Again, they're also a pleather design. A lot of adjustability here. That's going to help with the durability of these headphones because they'll move around a lot. without being forced in one direction or another. So that's kind of good to see here. They have a detachable cable, which is something I like. It's a locking design, uses a 3.5 millimeter on either side, so good to see there. You can see I've got a coil cable on here right now. It's a fairly short coil cable, but there's also a 3-meter straight cable that's included here. Plus you get the 1/4-inch adapter. So overall, the build quality is what you'd expect in this price point. Nothing too negative to say about them. No premium materials. I won't spend a lot of time on features and specifications. There'll be more information in the description below. But a highlight here is that they're a 32 ohm design that's quite efficient. You get plenty of volume out of these, loud listening levels no matter what your playback device is. So if you want to use them with a phone or tablet, no problem there. I will say you get a little bit of distortion if you start to overdrive them. They have 50 millimeter drivers here. The weight of these headphones is not excessive. They're not the lightest that I've used, but they don't feel uncomfortable in long-term wearing. So overall, there's really nothing surprising in the specifications here, and I suppose that's good. So now that we've gone through all of the audio tests, and I've actually put quite a few hours on these headphones, I'll give you my final thoughts. First of all, they give a very strong performance in the low frequencies, particularly the sub-bass. It's quite accurate, and it's also very clear unless you overdrive it. But in the upper frequencies between 1 and 7K, the sort of erratic response of these headphones really makes things sound almost unnatural to my ears, so I didn't find them pleasing myself. And the missing frequencies, or the underemphasized frequencies above 10K, really reduced the air performance of these. It didn't make them sound spacious. The imaging also seemed closed in, if you will. So I think the combination of the frequency response of these headphones delivered to me what was an undesirable listening experience. Now, you may disagree. Everyone's hearing is different. Of course, the physics of our ears dictate that. But overall, I'm going to say these headphones don't deliver the sound profile I would expect from a studio headphone, but some users really may like the strong low-end performance. And if you're looking for headphones for casual listening or studio use, check out one of the other reviews on the screen. As always, I do really appreciate you being with me here today, and I will see you next time.